Hare Krishna. Yeah, we are about to read from Chaitanya Charitamrita, the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which are very astonishing and actually the greatest revelation in the whole universe. And we are very fortunate and privileged. It's a privilege to that we can hear that, and that we can know that, and that we can accept that. Yeah, it's a great privilege. There's so many privileges out there right now, right? They will give privilege to one who is conforming to the system. And then, yes, you're allowed to get some privilege, some freedom. Right now, many freedoms are taken away. Many things you cannot do. But when you conform to the system, absolvere, then you are again liberated. Now we are in prison. Okay, it's not so bad, but a little bit. Yeah? And then when you're nice, then you get some privilege. Privilege means something what is not everyone can have. This is a privilege. A privilege is something what not everyone can have, and which is almost an honor, right? But yeah, so there are many privileges. Some people are more privileged than others. Some say even you are more privileged by birth. You are white. Yeah, white is a privilege, and we have to take this away now from you. This is not fair that you are white. There are many crazy views out there. But privilege, right? There's a big word now, privilege. But the highest privilege is that we can hear about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This is the real privilege. This is the real privilege. And we should see it like that. This is not normal. This is one of the problems we all have in spiritual life, is that very quickly we think it's normal. And this is normal that this happens. Everyone has to obey to this law. It's like a law. I have it now in the ebook reader. Thank you so much, Goran. Very kind. Yeah, so this is a law that everything we get used to everything, isn't it? We get used to pleasures, but also to pain, right? In the beginning, everything is new and shocking, and and then the human is somehow adapting to the situation, and the most outrageous, bizarre, strange, and abnormal things. Abnormal is just, a change in the normality, more or less, but the abnormal becomes also normal. Just takes some time, and you get used to it. It's normal. Yeah, and then it's like this. This is how it is. It's normal. What is for us not normal, like some people think about, I don't know, some other countries where the situation is much different. This is not normal. How can they live like that? But millions of people are living like that, don't complain. Because it's normal for them. Yeah, isn't it? It's called some syndrome. What is this syndrome when someone gets captivated? How's it called? Stockholm Syndrome. Huh? Yeah, Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. So if you would be captured, yeah, if after this lecture there comes some bad guy and captures Gauranga Gunanava, yeah, he takes him captive. Oh, he says no. But if he treats you a bit nice, but even not, after 2 days you will like him. This is called Stockholm Syndrome. Very soon, no, he's actually a nice guy, and I hope they will not treat you so bad when the police will take you afterwards when they catch you. Yeah, it's okay. Stockholm Syndrome. Yeah. So nowadays society is also under Stockholm Syndrome. It's not so bad, it's not so bad. So, you need something? No.
Can I not come here and listen to your class?
It's a free world. It's a very free world.
Stockholm Syndrome.
Oh, yeah.
Ananda Krishna, I told you, I listened to some words and thought maybe it's not so bad.
Yeah, this is my tactics to convert you to my subjugation. So, yeah, so this is our problem, that we get used to so many things. Yes, Yamaraj. Yamaraj, yes, please, tell us all. So, that we can get used to it. So in the beginning, when we come to Krishna consciousness, I think every one of us had almost the best time in his life. When you think back, it was like, wow, it was so far out. The first time reading Bhagavad Gita, understanding Bhagavad Gita, wow, it was so amazing, or chanting, or this and that, right? We have it was a powerful impression, because it was not normal. It was a change in our life. It was huge. It was huge. And now it's the challenge to keep up this freshness of the spiritual experience. This is the challenge. It's a big challenge. But it's very much possible. It's very much possible if we take it serious, yeah? And sometimes remind us, this is a privilege. This is not normal. It's Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, for heaven's sake. Right? This is not normal that I'm allowed to chant and all that. This is from the spirit. This is spiritual. Golokara Premadhan Harinam Sankirtan. So we are very honored to be allowed to do all that what we are doing here, and we are very honored now to hear from the most holy book, the most amazing book, Chaitanya Charitamrita, which describes the pastimes of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Ask you. Who is? Yeah, it's Krishna. It's not an avatar of Krishna, expansion of Krishna. Krishna himself in a very special form. Krishna himself is already a very special form, that God is a cowherd boy playing with his friends and dancing with gopis. This is already amazing. And it's similarly amazing it is that he comes as his own devotee. He comes as a bhakta. He comes as the supreme bhakta. Most amazing, powerful bhakta. Right? We are very inspired by bhaktas, by devotees. Right? We have a guru, we have some role models, we have some, right, more advanced devotees where we think, wow, he or she is very advanced and amazing, far out, special. All right? And Mahaprabhu was the supreme devotee, the supreme bhakta. He showed what is possible. Of course, many things he did are not possible, yeah. But at the same time, he acted as an acharya. He wanted to show this is actually spiritual life. Yeah, he came as a bhakta to show us what is spiritual life. So this is very amazing, and it's very amazing what he did, how he did all that. O king, in this way, people in the Dvapara Yuga worship the Lord of the universe. In Kali Yuga, they also worship the Supreme Personality of Godhead by the regulations of their revealed scriptures. Kindly now hear of that from me. Purport. This verse is spoken by Saint Karabhajana in Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.31. Text 52. Krishna varnam tvisha krishnam sango bhangasta pashadam yagyai sankirtana prayai yachantihi sumedasaha. This is not that clear what is the translation and what is purport. Anyway, I just read. Sangopangasta Bhashadam further indicates that Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna. His body is always decorated with ornaments of sandalwood and with sandalwood paste. By his super excellent beauty, he subdues all the people of the age. In other descents, the Lord sometimes used weapons to defeat the demoniac, but in this age, the Lord subdues them with his all-attractive figure as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that his beauty is his astra, his weapon, to subdue the demons. Because he is all-attractive, it is to be understood that all the demigods lived with him as his companions. His acts were uncommon and his associates wonderful. When he propagated the Sankirtan movement, he attracted many great scholars and acharyas, especially in Bengal and Orissa. Lord Chaitanya is always accompanied by his best associates like Lord Nityananda, Advaita, Gadadhar and Srivas. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam. Okay, translation. In the age of Kali, intelligent persons perform congregational chanting to worship the incarnation of Godhead, who constantly sings the name of Krishna. Although his complexion is not blackish, he is Krishna himself. He is accompanied by his associates, servants, weapons, and confidential companions. No, it's not okay. Thank you. So this verse is one of our most important shlokas of whole Bhagavatam, what we heard right now. Yeah, this is actually Krishna Varnam Tvisha Krishnam Sangu Pangasta Parshadam Yagyai Sankirtana Prayai Yachanti Hisumedasha. This is one of the most important verses of the whole Bhagavatam, especially for us, Gaudiya Vaishnavas. This is a direct reference to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We know Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is a so-called Channa avatar or Gupta avatar, means he is a secret avatar, right? One of the names of Krishna is Tri Yuga. It's one of his names. What does Tri Yuga mean? 3 ages. Why? Because he doesn't appear in Kali Yuga. Of course, besides Mahaprabhu, there's Kalki avatar, right? In the end of Kali Yuga will come a very powerful soldier, army leader, but it's like more the end of the Kali Yuga. So it's in one sense, it's not really anymore the Kali Yuga in one sense, you could say. Yeah. He will kill all the mlechas. Human society, humanity will be completely degraded. Completely degraded. And nowadays, of course, we see a trend towards degradation, moral degradation, and so this, a whole, degradation in society. Because there are no morals anymore. China Singade. Morals are very important. Morals are like values, where you abide to. Everyone should have, an advanced human has a value system. And inside this value system, this obliges him to act. Wherever it comes from, I don't have to theologically now prove it or base it, but at least there should be some moral system which guides your behavior. And this moral system will be more and more destroyed with the advancement of Kali Yuga. This is one of the symptoms of Kali Yuga, that there will be no morals anymore. And it's not just that they glide out, so to say, that it's just happening, that they go away. Actually, there is a conscious endeavor to deconstruct the moral system, destroy it actually, or replace it. Yeah. So we as devotees, we have a moral system. We get this through the whole tradition, everything, and we know this is what I do, this is what I'm not supposed to do. And actually, I don't even want to do that. Right? Some morals we know they are good, but we don't necessarily want to follow them. Or the question is, what in us doesn't want to follow them? Because we are schizophrenic. Yeah, we are kind of schizophrenic. We have so many entities in us who have different desires, right? Of course, there's the one, the idealistic self. Everyone has an idealistic self. This is who I would like to be, right? And according to that, I want also that. And this is how we paint ourselves after reading lots of books, Prabhupada's books, and having the association of devotees. Then we put ourselves in this idealistic self, which is very good. Everyone should have an idealistic self. This is actually whom I want to be. This is, and not just I want, sometimes it's also unfortunate, but it's okay. This is who I should be. Right? This should. Yeah? It's not necessarily that I want, but I should be like that. And this should actually transform into I want. I want to be like that. Because we deeper understand it. If it's should, it's still kind of outside motivation in one sense. Should. It's the obligation. But if I want, it comes from myself. No, I want to be like that. Okay, there is this idealistic self, but then there is the status quo self, I would say. This is what we are right now. Yeah, working on our sadhana and trying to become a better devotee, all that. And then there's of course also the lower self. Yeah? The sammelsurium of all the bad desires and the bad self. And all of them kind of have their life on their own and drag us into one direction. Yeah? And there are many other, right? We are so diverse in that sense, and it's not so easy to bring everything under one roof. And the advanced devotee, or even the pure devotee, he managed that. Or let's say like the perfect sadhaka. who achieved a high level in spiritual life through a very good sadhana. He achieved that. There is an authenticity between his wants and, or let's say, like we can esoterically say, between his heart and his mind. This is the same, right? So in the beginning, we have lots of head knowledge, many things we understood and understand. This is right, this is good, this is wonderful, but it's not realized, it's not really in our heart. And more we advance, the more this becomes one. Right? That what we know and what we want is also what we realize, is also what we are. Let's say like this, what we are. Okay, so yeah, back to the Kali Yuga is the age of moral destruction, and through this destruction in all fields of knowledge, in all areas of life, and it will make the world into hell. And in the end of Kali Yuga, at the lowest point, it's so degraded that Krishna, who wants to help all these degraded entities, has only one option left. There's nothing else possible anymore. There's nothing else possible. You cannot do anything anymore with these people. He has to just kill them. It's so crazy. But he has to, this is mercy. This is the only mercy now I can give them. I have to just kill them all. Krishna. Yeah, this is... Now it's not so bad. We might think, wow, it's already bad. But now it's the age of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He also wanted to kill in one situation. But he was reminded by Nityananda, you know, you're not Kalki, right? Chaga and Madai are really, really bad. Especially one. Who was it? It was the Madai, right? He heard Nityananda. He was really, really bad. But still, Mahaprabhu, this is, you have to bestow other mercy, right? So this is the mood, right, of Mahaprabhu. Even though people are very degraded, still we have to be merciful, which is extremely difficult. Mercy, to be merciful, to really feel with the people and see their fallen situation and want to help them, not just want to help them, and help them. In one sense, this is a symptom, not in one sense, it's a symptom of a Vaishnava. His ability of mercy. And not just feeling the mercy, but acting upon the mercy. And there we can see Prabhupada's greatness. He sacrificed everything. Just for what? Out of mercy. So this is a great quality, and yeah, on book distribution, this is the most difficult, right? There can be so many motivations for preaching and for distributing books. But the spiritual, the real motivation is mercy. And yeah, I can just see myself that I went out on book distribution, or now the preaching that I do, that this is like based on mercy. I have to really check that. Should be like that, yeah, but at least we should do it out of duty. This is Sattva Guna. At least we have to preach because Prabhupada wanted, and it's my duty as a good follower of Prabhupada. That's the reason why I preach. This should be at least the motivation. Lesser motivation, Raja Guna, you want to have something from preaching. Honor, prestige, nice position on the Sankirtan newsletter list, yeah. Money. My guru said, when you preach and there's no money coming, you're doing something wrong. This is natural, that this will happen, but it shouldn't be the driving force. It's a side effect. You can judge your preaching. That sounds very materialistic and very terrible, actually, but to some degree it's true. You can judge your preaching in how much money you will get. But it's not the motivation, but it's a symptom. On book distribution, we know that if you do it nicely, people like to give you money for the book. If you don't do it nicely, you make like this, huh? Psychologically, or Kripa Sindhu? Not physically, huh? the small ones maybe. Take him, upside down, shaking a bit. Okay, thank you. Here you go. Rascal. Demon. Yeah, this is okay. Physically not, but psychologically we can force them, and they are not happily giving because this is wonderful, of course. But if you touch the heart of a person, definitely he wants to give you in return lots, because he's touched, he's moved, he wants. So this is Rajaguna. If there are materialistic motivations in our activity, spiritual activity, even preaching. And Tamaguna, this is when you're completely, aggressive, very low consciousness. You preach to destroy them. It's like a, how they call Mahapralaya, book distribution. Great destruction of book, right? Mahapralaya means in the end of the universe, when everything gets destroyed by Shiva. Danda Nritya, so he's dancing. So Mahapralaya. Okay, so Mahaprabhu's age is, very merciful. This is his age. So back to the verse. And this verse we read right now, Krishna Vanam Dvisha Krishnam verse, is the most important, one of the most important verses of the Bhagavatam, because back it describes and predicts Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is he's a Chana avatar, he's a Gupta avatar, meaning he is hidden, he's a secret. He came as a bhakta, as a devotee. But this verse refers to him. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada will refer to Jiva Goswami, because Jiva Goswami is the greatest philosopher who ever lived, Prabhupada says. The greatest philosopher who ever lived. If you ask someone, who is the greatest philosopher who ever lived? They will say, first name, of course, Kant. So Kant, he was because now maybe some is Hegel or I don't know, some of these guys. But no, the greatest philosopher who ever lived was Jiva Goswami, because he was able to categorize and systematically explain Srimad Bhagavatam. And he put it into writing in a huge text, Sandarbhas. They are called Sandarbhas, Shat Sandarbhas. There are 6. Sandarbhas means like a compilation. And he wrote 6 compilations, and he structured the Bhagavatam according to topics. And the topics are, what would you have? The Tattva Sandarbha, Bhagavat Sandarbha, Paramatma Sandarbha, Bhakti Sandarbha, Krishna Sandarbha, and Priti Sandarbha. Right? There are 6. And the order was not right now. The order was not right. Last is Priti, before this you have Bhakti, before this is Krishna, before this is Paramatma, first is Tattva, second I think Bhagavat. Maybe I missed one. So, and he put, as the title says, and then he wrote everything, he explained what is Tattva, what is Bhagavat, what is Paramatma, what is Krishna, what is Bhakti, what is Priti. Priti means like pure devotional love. And he systematically explained. So this is powerful, this is very nice. And in the first Sandarbha, first is Tattva Sandarbha. And Tattva Sandarbha establishes Srimad Bhagavatam. There he established Srimad Bhagavatam as the most important and most powerful and most reliable source of knowledge. Srimad Bhagavatam. Because this might not be clear to everyone. So it is the first. Because the whole explanation and explanation of his follows Srimad Bhagavatam. Wants to explain Bhagavatam. So he wants to establish first Bhagavatam. So in Tattva Sandarbha he says Bhagavatam is the most important book. And he opens with this verse. Krishna Vanam Dvisha Krishnam Sangopangasta Bhashanam. Yeah, he says, and this is the shloka. This is the Paribhasa Sutra for this book of the Tattva Sandarbha. This is the Paribhasa Sutra, meaning this is the verse we always refer to. Paribhasa Sutra is the verse which summarizes the whole content of a book. This is called Paribhasa Sutra, and the whole book abides by its content. This is called Paribhasa Sutra. So now I ask you, what is the Paribhasa Sutra of Srimad Bhagavatam? Ganga?
It's actually the how hard is that?
Huh? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ite Changsakala Pungsang Krishna's tu Bhagavan Swayam. Indrari vyakulam lokam mridayanti yuge yuge. Everyone should know this verse. At least the second line. Krishna stu Bhagavan Swayam. Everyone knows. Everyone has to know this. This is the 1.3.28 of Bhagavatam. And this verse explains more or less that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is just the punchline of this verse. Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. And this is called Paribhasa Sutra. This summarizes the whole message of the Bhagavatam. And all other verses have to refer to it or explain it. And if there are verses which seem to be different or give a different content, then they have to be understood in the light of the Paribhasa Sutra. Yeah. Paribhasa Sutra is the most important verse. So this verse is 1.3.28. Yeah. And so back to this, so in Tattva Sandarbha, he establishes with this verse actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So let's read the purport. This text from Srimad Bhagavatam. This text is from Srimad Bhagavatam 11.5.32. Srila Jiva Goswami, so Prabhupada quotes now in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Jiva Goswami, in connection now with this verse. Srila Prabhupada did not comment in the Bhagavatam this verse, 11.5.32. Because Prabhupada translated only until 13th chapter of 10th canto. Right? So Prabhupada refers... and this is very interesting, because there are many important shlokas in the Bhagavatam after Prabhupada's translation. And very often these are quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita, and then Prabhupada comments on them. So we can have some more Bhagavatam, so to say, through Chaitanya Charitamrita, like this verse now. So this is a very, very important verse, which is, so to say, not explained by Srila Prabhupada in Bhagavatam, but in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Understanding? You can follow, or?
No, sorry.
It's too fast?
Yeah, it's
complicated also a bit. Yeah, maybe sometimes a little bit. Okay, I'll try.
Try to
Yes.
the most important thing.
Okay. So, and that's interesting now to see what does Srila Prabhupada say to this very important shloka. So, and he starts saying where this verse is from, 11.5.32, and then immediately Jiva Goswami, which is interesting. Because Jiva Goswami made such a strong point out of this verse to say, to establish through this Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course, and Bhagavatam in Tattva Sandarbha. So there we can see also that Prabhupada was very well read. Many things Prabhupada did not translate, of course, like the Sandarbhas, he did not translate, but he was aware of them, of course. So Prabhupada was new. So, and the more we learn, the more we see actually Prabhupada's genius, and also because Prabhupada doesn't quote things out of randomness. In the beginning, when I read Prabhupada's books, I thought, yeah, Prabhupada just sits there and he just explains and writes, kind of just writes. No, there's a structure, and there's a following of the acharyas. Prabhupada comments in the style of the previous acharyas. When there's a shloka with a certain in content, he focuses on the important point what also the acharyas made. Right? He could write so much, but no, he says it's not just the translation; it's also the content and the prioritization of the acharyas which Prabhupada follows. This is one of Prabhupada's most astounding qualities. How loyal and authentic he could follow the acharyas. This is amazing. Because many of us are teaching, preaching, communicating, right? And very often we follow our line of thought, our prioritization, what we like in the frame of Krishna consciousness. Which is also okay. Prabhupada said it's good. According to your nature, according to your likes, you can explain Krishna consciousness. Right? But I wouldn't say it's whimsical, but it's a little bit, just from ourselves. But Prabhupada was following the acharyas in every way. Not just the philosophy, right? Also the details in philosophy, and also the mood. Yeah, we always say the mood. It's a very great word, right? We always use the mood. Yeah. What does it actually mean? Right? Mood. Yeah, it's his yeah, whatever, his mood. Just take a lexicon. What is an interesting word? Yeah, how he feels about the things, and what is his Gefühl, wie sagt man im Deutsch? Im Deutsch sagt man Stimmung, ja, Stimmung, ja, the Stimmung. Stimmung actually in German sounds a little bit more Stimmung, like an instrument. It is tuned to a certain sound, right? So someone has a certain Stimmung, how he is tuned. No? How he is tuned. I know. Okay. Okay, so let's see what Prabhupada says. Srila Jiva Goswami has explained this verse in his commentary on the Bhagavatam known as the Krama Sandarbha. Yes, this is also very important. The Krama Sandarbha is Jiva Goswami's commentary to Srimad Bhagavatam. I think it's actually only to the 10th canto, but you can correct me. Some acharyas like Sanatana Goswami, he wrote a commentary only on the 10th canto. Some acharyas like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur wrote on the whole Bhagavatam. So Jiva Goswami, I don't know if he commented the whole Bhagavatam or only the 10th canto. Actually, of course there are many commentaries, but there are not so many Gaudiya Vaishnava commentaries to the whole Bhagavatam, when you think about it. Right? We have Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. But besides that, who commented the whole Bhagavatam? You can research that. Wherein he says that Lord Krishna also appears with a golden complexion. That golden Lord Krishna is Lord Chaitanya, who is worshipped by intelligent men in this age. That is confirmed in Srimad Bhagavatam by Garga Muni, who said that although the child Krishna was blackish, he also appears in 3 other colors, red, white and yellow. He exhibited his white and red complexion in the Satya and Treta ages respectively. He did not exhibit the remaining color, yellow gold, until he appeared as Lord Chaitanya, who is known as Godahari. Yeah, Prabhupada doesn't quote this verse, but this is also a very important verse in connection with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, where Garga Muni, when he made the name-giving ceremony, everyone remembers, right? Garga Muni, the priest of the Yadus, came to Vrindavan after Krishna was born, on the day, Nandotsava day, right, the first day after the birth. And then I wanted to baptize, but it's not baptize, or baptize is a Christian word, but it's a name-giving ceremony. Because it's interesting, in Christian tradition, when you get the name-giving ceremony, what they do is connected with baptizing. Taufen. Okay, in Taufe in Christianity is when you get a name. It's a Christian ceremony, but at the same time you are converted more or less to Christianity. The Taufe is actually initiation, and it's done in the name-giving ceremony. They do this together. They, Namkarana Samskara together with the Upanayana, so to say, to immediately catch the guy, Now he's ours. Yeah, baptizing. So most people don't understand that or do. Actually, it's actually not right. Yeah, and there are other Christian traditions who actually say baptizing this is not right, because it can only be done by a person out of free will. Yes, I want to be a Christian. And there's some Christian traditions who do that only with someone who is old enough who can say yes, and then it's the real thing. But we do it with the small children, and then we bathe them right in this cold water, in this cold church, and they just cry. Right. So, yeah. But actually it's called Namkarana ceremony. And Namkarana is okay, yeah, you give him immediately. The child has to have a name, right? Cannot live without a name. And this is another stupid argument by Mayavadis. Names are not important. God has no name, it's the unnamed. Everyone has a name. Actually, it's an advantage. It's good to have a name. But God has no name, right? Which again, according to Prabhupada, makes him less. Mayavadis, they actually make him less. He has no name, he has no form, he has no house, he has no wife, nothing. But Prabhupada says, we know Krishna, we know his address, we know his parents, we know his friends, we know his address. So Garga Muni, he came to Vrindavan and he made this Namkarana ceremony, and this Namkarana ceremony was an important verse where he said to Vasudev, to Nanda Maharaj, this child is very special and he always comes again and again. This is not a regular person, he is actually the Supreme Lord, coming again and again. And in Satya Yuga he was there in a white form, in Treta Yuga he was there in a red form, in Dwapara Yuga now he's coming in a blackish form, and in the last age he will come in a yellow form, yellow golden form. Nice prediction. So this verse is important because again it refers to Mahaprabhu. Because if someone says, no, Mahaprabhu is not the Lord, this and that, we can refer to these verses. Even Bhagavatam says it, predicts actually. Yeah. So Prabhupada paraphrases this verse here. Srila Jiva Goswami explains that Krishna Varnam means Krishna Chaitanya. Krishna Varna and Krishna Chaitanya equivalent. The name Krishna appears with both Lord Krishna and Lord Chaitanya. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but he always engages in describing Krishna and thus enjoys transcendental bliss by chanting and remembering his name and form. Because Krishna Varna means either the blackish color, because Varna means color. Krishna Varna, so means the color of Krishna or blackish. Krishna means also blackish. But it means also the one who is always speaking about Krishna. Because the word Varna, it means, is also a Sanskrit word. It means a grammatical word. It refers to the syllables. We have this in this verse. Which verse is this? In one verse. Where is it? Tunde tanda vini ratim vitanu te tundavali laptai kana Krishna kadambini katayate kanabu devya swayam chetu. Where is it? Chetu prangana sangini vichate savendriya kritim no chane chanete kriyatpya Krishna varnam tvayi. Krishna varnam tvayi. These two syllables, Krishna, give this highest pleasure. Rupa Goswami says, Tunde tanda viniratim vitanu de tundavali laptai. When the name dances on your tongue, you desire thousands of tongues. Krishna, 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 Krishna. And you think, wow, one tongue is not enough. It's so beautiful. So this means Tunde Tanda Viniratim. When the holy name dances on your tongue. Krishna dances on your tongue. And when this sound vibration enters into your ears, you desire thousands of ears. It's so nice to hear Krishna, 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 Krishna. And when the holy name enters the courtyard of your heart, all the activities of your senses become immediately inert. Everything, like all your sense activities, your mind, everything is so completely peaceful, and you're absorbed in the blissful sound vibration of Krishna. Yeah. This is happening when, this is the power of the two syllables, Krishna. So this is Rupa Goswami's verse. It's always quoted as Rupa Goswami, but actually I was amazed when I read where this verse is coming from, where he quotes it. It's in Vidakta Madhava. And if you know, Vidakta Madhava is a theater. It's a drama written by Rupa Goswami. Very rasika. That's the word, is rasika. And this comes right in the beginning. And this verse is spoken by Purnamasi. Purnamasi is the grandmother of Krishna. And she actually speaks this verse. I think she spoke it to Radharani herself, or to the gopis. Oh, no. It was in the beginning when she enters the stage. It glorifies Krishna with this verse. Yeah. So, continuing this. So this word Krishna Varna means the one who is always speaking about Krishna. And this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Krishna himself speaking always about Krishna. Lord Chaitanya always chants the holy name of Krishna, describes it also. Okay. He injects one with transcendental Krishna consciousness, which merges the chanter in transcendental bliss. In all respects, therefore, he appears before everyone as Krishna, either by personality or by sound. Simply by seeing Lord Chaitanya, one at once remembers Lord Krishna. One may therefore accept him as Vishnu Tattva. In other words, Lord Chaitanya is Lord Krishna himself. Srila Jiva Goswami cites a verse from the Vedic literature which says that there is no necessity of performing sacrificial demonstrations or ceremonial functions. He comments that instead of engaging in such external pompous exhibitions, all people, regardless of caste, color or creed, can assemble together and chant Hare Krishna to worship Lord Chaitanya. Krishna Vanam Dvisha Krishnam indicates that prominence should be given to the name of Krishna. Lord Chaitanya taught that Krishna consciousness and chanted the name of Krishna. Therefore, to worship Lord Chaitanya, everyone should together chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. To propagate worship in churches, temples or mosques is not possible because people have lost interest in that. But anywhere and everywhere people can chant Hare Krishna. Thus, worshipping Lord Chaitanya, they can perform the highest activity and fulfill the highest religious purpose of satisfying the Supreme Lord. Just to go back, I have to correct myself. I spoke about Tattva Sandarbha from Jiva Goswami, but Prabhupada, of course, he summarizes or quotes here Jiva Goswami's Grama Sandarbha of Bhagavatam. Right? But besides that, in Tattva Sandarbha, this verse was given great importance. Srila Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, famous disciple of Lord Chaitanya, said, the principle of transcendental devotional serving having been lost, Sri Krishna has appeared to deliver again the process of devotion. He is so kind that he is distributing love of Krishna. Everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet, as humming bees are attracted to a lotus flower. Okay, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya quoted in the end. Everyone should be attracted more and more to his lotus feet, as a humming bee is attracted to a lotus flower. Yeah, bees are and bumblebees are very attracted to flowers. They are really focused. Have you tried once to keep a bee away from the flower? It's very funny because it doesn't give up. Can hold the hand and go away, come again and again and again and again. No, I want to go there. I have to go there. I need this flower now. It's not obstructed. So he also in this verse, in the Padma Mukha Padma Bringa, the Lord is always beholding the lotus face, Padma Mukha. Padma Mukha is the lotus face of Padma. Was it not the Shri, Lakshmi? Huh? Padma is also a name for Lakshmi. And Bringa means bee. Bringa is the bee. So the Lord is always beholding the lotus face of the goddess of fortune as a bee is always attracted to the lotus flower. It's also there. As far as I remember, that means that Padma Mukha, Padma Bringa. Yeah, this is a nice example, right? This is a nice example. So I think I ended. Time is almost up. Yeah, that's a nice point for the end. To try to become more attracted to Krishna, especially to Krishna Katha and the holy name, which are the central activities. This is the center of our process. All the other things are centered around that. Even temple life and worship and all that. It's all an emanation, actually, an expansion of the holy name. Right? This is the central activity. With this, everything becomes wonderful and great. And temple life should mean that nice absorption in Krishna Katha, nice absorption in the holy name. And for this, we should use now our time. Right? Every one of us who is here right now, we more or less stopped our material career or life. Right? We could now study or work or do business, online business. There are so many chances to become, possibilities to become rich and powerful and have a nice status in society. But we sacrificed it. We sacrificed it. You will not become the most famous for making a flower garland in the material world, right? In the devotee sangha, you might become, which is very honorable, right? Yeah, if you do your service so nicely that the whole ISKCON talks about it. Yeah, we shouldn't do it out of false ego, but this is a nice confirmation, right? There are some famous devotees in this movement. Why? Because they did some extraordinary service. But the material world will not care so much. Right? So we sacrifice all that for what? As Prabhupada says, the temples are not places for lazies and crazies. They are not places for eating and sleeping. Very important. We should not just be angespült, ja, vom Ozean der materiellen Energie. We landed here in this temple because there was nothing else to do anymore. Nobody wanted me, nobody could take me, I'm a useless guy, and the only thing I can do is now, because the Hare Krishnas are very nice and they kind of take everyone, whoever you are, right? It's true. In my whole life, I haven't seen so many crazy people as in the Hare Krishna movement. Sorry to say, it's a fact. I had no contact with crazy people before. My friends, of course, we were crazy, yes, but in the normal way. But like real crazy people, I only experienced in the Hare Krishna movement. And so many. It's crazy. It's crazy how crazy they were. Yeah, so, but actually it shouldn't be like that. Yeah? We should actually be the first-class human being. Ladies and gentlemen, Prabhupada expected lots from us. So we should use our time now for wonderful devotional service, for absorption in Krishna Katha, in study of Shastra, and to really keep Krishna consciousness fresh. Not that it becomes normal and stale and I read it all, I heard it all. I have already read the Bhagavad Gita, I think 2 times, that's enough. No. We should work, because it is, as Prabhupada says, it's always fresh. It's always fresh. The holy name is always fresh. The Katha is always fresh. But we have to find this freshness and keep it. Then it's very nice. So this is our duty. The flowers which don't smell. Yeah, Kishori Kund is laughing. She's our flower expert. Yeah. So she is also like a bee. Where are the best flowers? Yeah, it's good. It's a nice seva. Gopis are also like that. The gopis are all about flowers. Krishna loves flowers. There's always a flower garland. There's always nice smell in Vrindavan, carried by the breeze. Yeah, flowers are very important. Yeah, so we should be like bees always flying to the nectar of Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Hare Krishna. Anything you want to add or share or some questions? Sanjay always has something in the end. Not today. Okay, it's not a normal day. Okay, then thank you so much. All the best for your day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Wenn ihr mehr wissen wollt über die transzendentale Wissenschaft des Krishna-Bewusstseins, dann kann ich euch den Bhakti Club empfehlen. Wir haben nun eine neue Plattform, auf der ich exklusive Inhalte anbiete, wie Videos und Kurse und eine digitale Sadhu Sangha. Geht einfach auf www.bhakti-club.de und registriert euch dort. Dann könnt ihr Einlass bekommen in eine spirituelle, digitale Welt. Ich freue mich auf eure Gemeinschaft. Hare Krishna.